Welcome to the Pathway to Your Dream Job, which is a three-part series to help students and graduates navigate their way to the ideal job. In part one, Discover Your Brand, you discovered your brand statement that represents your life purpose and career compass. In part two, Apply Your Brand, you learned how to stand out from the crowd by applying your brand statement to your resume, LinkedIn profile, and business card. Today, in part three, Say Your Brand, you will learn how to effectively and confidently market yourself by using your brand statement in networking situations and interviews. A very effective way to use your brand statement while networking and during interviews is when you are asked the question, "So tell me about yourself." This is an excellent opportunity to say your brand statement as a way to express your potential to be a good fit for their organization. However, to be able to effectively answer this question and indicate you are a difference maker, you really only have 6 seconds. Why is that? Simply because, just like goldfish, that's the average attention span of most people. That also means you only have 6 seconds to make a good impression. With that in mind, the best way to respond is to start with your career status, be it as a student, professional, or volunteer, followed by your brand statement. For example, when I'm asked, "Tell me about yourself," I say I'm a mentor, which is my current status, followed by helping others discover their greatness, which is my brand statement. 9 times out of 10, the listener is usually curious about my brand statement and wants to know more. So what I do is validate my brand statement with what I call a value statement. This validating statement is a specific example of how I make a difference. So in your case, your value statement could be how you make a difference at school, as a student, at work as a professional, or perhaps volunteering. For example, to validate my brand statement, I use my volunteer experience and say I give personal brand workshops worldwide to help students and professionals transition from learning to earning. That's a specific example of how I make a difference volunteering. Your value statement could be a specific example of how you have or do make a difference at school, work, or volunteering. It is important to note that your value statement will change as you move along in your career journey and gain more experience. Your brand statement in the other situations applies to all aspects of your life and is general in content and probably won't change over the span of your career. Now let's turn our attention to one-on-one conversations and when to say your brand and value statements. In one-on-one conversations and networking situations, take control of the conversation by first introducing yourself. And then show an interest in your listener by asking questions about them and their company. Your listener will appreciate your interest and at some point in the conversation will likely reciprocate by asking about you. If so, then now's your chance to make a good first impression and let them know you are a difference maker. Begin with your current status. In this example, I'm a photography student. Followed by the brand statement, bringing photography to life through skill and imagination. If your listener is curious about the brand statement and wants more information, then it's time to respond with the value statement. In this case, I volunteered as a photographer for a local sporting event to capture the highlights through a camera lens. This is a specific example of how this person made a difference as a volunteer and validates their brand statement. It's the combination of the brand and value statements that will make a good first impression and highlight your difference-making potential to build value. So really, the more people that hear your brand and value statements, the better your job opportunities and likelihood of advancing towards your dream job. Next, let's look at interviews and when to say your brand and value statements. A common interview question is, so tell me about yourself. And why is that? They are looking for difference makers. In other words, people who will help their organizations grow and prosper. So just like in the one-on-one conversations, if you want to make a good impression and express your difference-making potential, start with your status. In this example, I'm a photography student, followed by the brand statement, bringing photography to life through skill and imagination. If your listener is curious and wants to know more, then validate the brand statement with the value statement. In this case, I volunteered as a photographer to capture a local sporting event with highlights through a camera lens. That's a specific example of how this person made a difference as a volunteer and validates their brand statement. Another way to make an impression is to show an interest in the company by asking questions from information you've gathered from their website. For example, if you want to know if it's a good fit for you, this company, then maybe you ask, do you have a mentorship program? Or do you have a way where you can help employees grow and develop? This will give you a sense of where you fit in this organization. And really, it's a two-way street. If the company helps you grow, you in turn will help the company grow and prosper. You're going to be asked many questions during the interview, including tell me about yourself, what's your greatest strength, what are your weaknesses, what motivates you, just to name a few. With each and every question, your interviewer is ultimately trying to determine if you're a good fit for their company. In other words, are you a difference maker with the potential to help the company grow? To respond in a way that addresses what they're looking for, simply say your brand and value statements when the opportunity arises. For example, you might be asked, what motivates you? You could respond, with any opportunity to live my brand. That will likely prompt them to ask, well, what is your brand? Now is your opportunity to respond with your brand statement. If you've piqued their interest and they want to know more, then validate your brand statement with your value statement. So here are the steps to effectively and confidently market yourself in networking situations and interviews. Create a value statement to validate your brand statement. Then commit your brand and value statements to memory. Be able to say them with ease and confidence. Also join associations and organizations relevant to your career. They will provide you with a calendar of events for networking opportunities as well as job postings. Pick 5 networking opportunities, including conferences, meetings, webinars, and presentations to market your brand. Also pick 5 companies you'd like to do work for and set up info interviews. Find out more about the company, what the hiring possibilities are, and whether the company is a good fit for you and your career growth and development. Who knows, you might just get a chance to use your brand statement in these situations. Also use social media to post your schoolwork, volunteering activities, and anything else to keep your network informed on what you're doing to make a difference. For example, every time I do a webinar or volunteering, I post it on LinkedIn, Twitter, and Instagram. So if you follow through with these suggestions, you now have the 6 seconds you need to make a good impression and open up new career opportunities. Now's the time to take the initiative to be market ready and on the pathway to your dream job. If you need some assistance, just use my website, geodudecorner.com, as a resource. If you'd like to get some feedback on your brand and value statements or have questions, simply email me at pmcandless@telus.net. Thank you for watching Pathway to Your Dream Job Part 3, Say Your Brand. I look forward to following your career journey with interest.